G'day guys, what's cracking? It's a cheery day on the Gold Coast today, but I'm coming to you with, well, let me tell you a little bit of a story. When I began YouTube, I could never have imagined that any company would want to work with me. Like, it wasn't a self-esteem thing, it was just something I'd never have dreamt of. Then as time went on, a couple of companies gave me a go. And there becomes other companies that you think, wow, one day if I could work with them, that would be just amazing. And today is one of those days. I'm working with Three-Legged Thing, whom I love and have had the pleasure of using their products for a long, long time. In particular, their L brackets. And their Zelda L bracket lives on my Z6. But today I want to talk to you about Zaara. She's a lovely girl. Zaara, who lives on the Z9, the Nikon Z9. And so they've sent me this out of the goodness of their heart. They're a UK-based company. If you haven't heard of them, I'm sure you have. But I was born in the UK, so maybe there's a kindred spirit at work there. Anyway, thank you, Three-Legged Thing, for sending me the Z9 L bracket that lives on the Z9, and that's what I want to talk to you about today, to give you a chance to see what it looks like. So it comes in orange or this kind of gunmetal green, which I really dig. Like, I really like it. And it looks kind of grey until you put it next to the black Z9, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's green. I like it. Now, the thing that starts to set this apart is its attachments. Here comes the rain. Is its attachments on the bottom. So you have your traditional 1/4-20 screw, but it also has this pin, and the pin fits in the hole in the bottom of your camera. You will be amazed at how many L brackets do not come with that simple pin that you just slot in place. You find where the pin lives, and then you use this funky little tool they've sent, which has a large hex screw and a thin hex screw. The large one, you simply put in, and it's like a windmill. You go round and round and round until it locks all in, and then the L bracket is as firm as you like on the camera. We'll talk about how stable it is in just a minute. Then you can use the smaller element, the smaller hex key, to extend this. And if you take this pin out, which I like to loosen it, and then you have to take it all the way out. So you unscrew this pin the whole way, and it never falls out because there's a epic device in there that stops it falling out. You can move this out in any increment you like up to this distance. And then let's just go to its full extent and then lock it back in. You just have to make sure the pin is lined up with its hole. It has these other two little pins here that stop it going flying out, and you can remove those pins. So if you just want to use the base plate with no opportunity for vertical shooting, it's easy to do. Just take them off. You can pull the whole thing out and you have a really nice base plate. Look at the gap here, gives you plenty of access to your cables, and you just pull the plugs back and you can access them either straight through here or around the corner. I'd recommend going in here. And let's just talk through some of the design. You can mount it vertically here, which we'll do in just a moment. It has access for the battery here, so you can easily pull in and out your battery if you need to recharge it or change it without taking the L bracket off. I think that's essential in this day and age. It's got a 1/4-20 up here, which you can mount a light or a accessory or a microphone to, should you need to. And then underneath it has these two 3/8 threads, but also it has built-in adapters. So they're at the moment, they're 1/4-20, but you can just unscrew that and put a 3/8 in if there's other additional things you want to add. And it has the opportunity to put a anchor point here and an anchor point up here, which is attached to my camera. You could actually use the 1/4-20 thread here, and that would just enable you to put your camera strap on and have it point down rather than pointing out. What perhaps would have been a great idea is just to put a bit of a slit in here, just to double up the usage of that. But then you wouldn't get to see this epic little logo. The logo, it's just lovely. Also has these two bolts that stop it sliding off the bracket that holds the camera in place, and a 1/4-20 that you can just mount something else to, or mount this to another device. It's very lightweight, like insanely lightweight. It's like you've put no extra weight on your camera, and it comes with this funky little bag that you can hold. It's like nice and felt. Has another spare screw in there, has a little tool for undoing various parts of it, and another hex key should you get lost. I just stashed them in there, and if you want to take it off your camera, you've got somewhere safe you can put it, pull it tight, and easy as you like, there you go. So the big question really comes down to, how does it go on a tripod? So what I'm going to do is going to get rid of my lovely bench, which is made out of our old front door. I know. And I'm going to stick this on a tripod. So I'm going to turn the bench into a tripod. We're going to have a look at the stability. Let's go. Yes! So to run the test, I've decided to put on my old F-mount 20mm f1.8 lens with an FTZ2 adapter. I've turned vibration reduction off on the camera, and the lens doesn't have vibration reduction, because often when you're shooting astro, you're shooting long exposure and those sort of things from a tripod, you turn your vibration reductions off because the gimbal can countermeasure and counterweight the stillness of the camera, so you can get blurry images when you want to get really clear images. So it's all off. We're going to see now just how stable it is to put the camera on a vertical shoot. All right, so what you are looking at is the fact that I'm using an iPhone to shoot this video. Did you know that? Put in the comment below if you sensed something was up. All right, here's what's going to happen. I'm just going to move the camera slightly and change some of the buttons and so forth. This is what I might do, so you'll get to see if that has much vibration reduction on it. Now, if I'm bumping the tripod or moving things just slightly, you can see just a little tap, and you'll be able to see in the screen how much that's there. And if there's a strong wind, I sense a strong wind would sort of push up against it a little bit like that. So how happy are you with it? Now, let me just try this on horizontal shooting mode and see what we get there. Now, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to move it. Oh, it feels much sturdier this way. It already does. You can be the judge, but have a look at those lines. Are those lines, vertical lines of the door, moving much? And then if I'm just touching it with the wind coming, how does that go? What do you think? Are you happy about it? And then what I want to do is I'm going to put vibration reduction on the camera, which is also called IBIS, in body image stabilization. And we're going to just run the same test again and see if it affects it at all. We're back to vertical shooting mode, and I've experimented with whether I push the camera the whole way along and have it lock in here, or whether I get both sides of the jaws of my Arca Swiss to hold onto the actual L bracket. And I think somewhere in between is a good medium. So let me just press record on that. Vibration reduction is on the camera, and so if I'm just moving about as I was doing before, is there much shake? And now let me just put a bit of wind movement on the lens. This is just good to know, isn't it? Here is the horizontal test, so fiddling around with the buttons up here, and then a little bit of a lens movement here. Is it moving much? And you can tell me how much you think it moves down below and whether it's for you. You can be the judge now about whether this L bracket is for you. Does it move enough? Not enough? Does it frustrate you? Should you want it? I'm going to do a video where I compare all my Z9 L brackets, because I think all of them have the struggle of holding such a massive camera in such a fragile way up here, and perhaps that's a area of our photographic advancement that still needs to be taken care of. Perhaps not. Perhaps you're stoked. Leave in the comments below what you think. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Here's the one for you.